for? I still want to hear about that. Oh, did I freeze?
Yeah.
Why? I'm connected to the.
We are
Oh, there
live.
I go.
Tea and Conversation live this morning. Yes, with my friend Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, go ahead on everybody this morning and share the video, share the live. I am Candy Lowe. We're in our second season. I am the host of Tea and Conversation, and we are excited about Tea and Conversation. This year, we celebrate 20 years. We celebrate 20 years Tea and Conversation in the great city, but there is nothing like having my brother, my friend, Kyle Jackson on talking about all things real estate and making sure that we buy that first home. Or let me tell you something, if you're wanting to renovate, if you're wanting to sell the home that you're already in, Kyle Jackson is your guy. Kyle Jackson is your guy. Good morning, Kyle. How's it going?
I am amazing. Good morning, Candy. Thank you for the wonderful intro as always. I'm so grateful. I'm not sure why I'm a little frozen this morning, it looks like, but I hope I'm coming through clearly. I hope the people can hear me. I promise you it's not me, it's Spectrum. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. How's things going with you?
Well, better and better every day. I feel like things are always working out for me. I had a wonderful weekend this past weekend. And, the week before that, I came off of a cruise. And so life has been going pretty doggone well. I have to admit, I'm very, very grateful. I could always sell more real estate, though. And so I know I'm here to talk to you about some real estate this morning. And I will tell you on the real estate side of life, things have been a little challenging. Seems like we have a lot of houses for sale, but not a lot of folks out here saying, hey, give me that house. I want to buy, And so hopefully we'll be able to get that turned around soon because there are a lot of good opportunities out here.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that you will. I know that a lot of people have been really interested in purchasing a home in Florida, and there is nothing like living in Florida. Definitely Central Florida, and all of the great entities, all of the great things that you're able to do, all of the beautiful development that is coming up throughout the entire Tampa Bay area. If you would speak on some of those wonderful things that Central Florida, definitely the Tampa Bay area has to offer.
Absolutely. I love Tampa. You and I have been here forever, so I have nothing but good things to say about Tampa. But I must add, since you mentioned Central Florida, I have actually been spending time in Orlando recently. And Orlando is nice. There are so many things to do that I didn't even know about. I was kind of blown away. I was out and they had a game over, a basketball game over there. I hear that the Rays may even be considering a move to Orlando, the baseball team here in our area. And a lot of good things happening in this, what I would like to call the I-4 corridor, right? Like Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa, all of this area has been really busy, a lot of growth, a lot of wonderful new opportunities. I specialize in the Tampa Bay area market specifically. I really serve Tampa, Riverview, Brandon, Waimama, Ruskin, Apollo Beach, places like that. If you're familiar with the Tampa Bay area, you'll know some of those names. Wesley Chapel is another emerging market that's coming a long way. And it's great, a lot of building. I will tell you that in the housing market, there's still so many new builds, a lot of new development. A lot of builders have put up new construction, and they are offering amazing incentives to come and buy at this time. Tens of thousands of dollars in financial contribution towards your down payment, towards your closing costs. A lot of them are paying, offering even incentives where they're helping people to buy models where you can purchase furnishings within the home already. They are making it very easy for people to come and buy at this time. And so if you have your ducks in a row, if you have good credit, and I always like to state a number when I say good credit, right? Because people aren't really sure what that means these days, right? You are actually able to buy a house with a credit score as low as 580 and then up to as high as, of course, 850, right? If you're on the lower end, if you're in that 580, 600 range, you can get it, but the interest rate is going to be a little higher, right? But if you are above 640, 700, 720, 750, any of those kinds of numbers, you are in a sweet spot for your interest rate, and your credit score will be one that will be attractive to most lenders. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but with the interest rates, some of them, we're still in the sixes. We're in the 6 to 7% range currently. You can buy rates down a little bit to get yourself a better payment. And some people are even predicting that there may still be an adjustment where rates will come down. But even if the rates aren't coming down, what is coming down across Central Florida and throughout most of the state are the prices of the actual houses, right? What a year, 2 years ago, you would have bought for 400, 450, 500. You are in the 300s now. For what you would have gotten in the 300, you're in the 200s now. People are definitely seeing serious price reductions in the overall cost of a home. And so if you have some dollars saved, if your money is together, right? Good morning, DJ. I saw a good morning on the side on the comment section. So if you're doing well, now's a great time to buy. And of course, if you call me, I would love to help you as your realtor.
Absolutely. And I know real estate is just amazing throughout Florida, definitely Central Florida, and making sure that we are getting the word out. And this is definitely one of our platforms that we want to make sure that people are getting the word out. Real estate is really, really, really doing the doggone thing in the Tampa Bay area. Why did you choose being a realtor?
I'm gonna tell you, that's one of the funniest stories I can share. So I don't like to sound like
I want you to, in my Jarvis Elamine voice, take it from the top.
Take it from the top. Okay. Shout out to my brother Jarvis. And while since you mentioned him, he is having an event coming up here in May that for men, I think that would be really good for lots of us to attend out at a barbershop. I'll give the information. I'm going to pull it up on my phone so I can mention it specifically before the end of the show, because I would love for him to have an excellent audience at that. I think it's good for the community. But to answer your question, so believe it or not, I was actually working for St. Leo University at the time. I had left real estate altogether because, as you know, way back in the in the 90s and early 2000s, I was on the other side of the business. I was on the mortgage side of the business. I was a mortgage loan officer, then a mortgage broker, and then the crash of the early 2000s happened, and I lost my shirt, and I thought, I'm done with this. This is never happening again. I'm finished with real estate. And I was working at St. Leo University, and a young lady who is she's also a real estate broker. She came to me one day and she said, "You should get back into real estate, Kyle. You would be great at it." And I said, "Oh, you don't understand. I used to be in real estate, and then, it went left and I lost everything and blah, blah, blah." And she said, "No, it's different now. Trust me. You want to get back in." She was like, "Watch, I'm going to bring the check in tomorrow and show you." So she brought in the next day this big old check, and I signed up for the class the day after that because I said, man, I need that kind of money in my life again. I forgot that real estate agents did so well financially when the market is doing good. And so so I signed up for a class, and I made sure that I signed up because, for people who work a 9 to 5 job, you understand that you only get a certain amount of vacation time, right? Like there's only a set number. I think you get 2 weeks is what they call 10 days. You get 5 weekdays and in the beginning and maybe 5 weekdays at another point in time in the year is where I was in my career anyway. And for my 5 days, for my vacation, I took and went to class. I literally set up my vacation so I could go to class during the period of time that I would be on vacation from work. I knocked it out in about 7 or 8 days, something like that. And thankfully, I passed all of my exams on the first try. I passed my class exam on the first try. I passed my state exam on the first try. I passed my post licensing exam on the first try and my broker's exam on the first try. So there's a lot of long you need to pass in order to have the designations that I have. And I always tell people, go and get that part over as soon as you can, right? Because one, the tests are not easy. You might think so because there's so many realtors, but people do have a lot of resources for test prep and examination preps. And, I used to listen to this was back when I had a CD player in my car before it was 100% streaming. I used to listen to listen on CD to make sure I passed it on the first try. Good morning, Tanya. Good to see you were tuned in this morning. And yeah, I thought that it was really a great opportunity because I think, when I tell people, they say, oh, what's your dream job? I don't have a dream job. I never dream of labor, ever. However, I was thinking about this helps me. This is something I know how to do because I was on the mortgage side. This is something I think I'll be good at because I do get along well with others. I have pretty good interpersonal skills with people. And I wanted to make a lot of money. And there have been times that this has been able to afford me to do so when real estate is doing well, when people are buying and selling actively, you can earn quite a lot of money. And but when it's the opposite, when it's not, right? Because this is a 100% commission position. So you only eat if you sell, and not just sell, like you have to sell all the way to completion. I try to remind new agents and people who are gung-ho and excited. They saw an HGTV special, they get excited, realtor, that there are a lot of variables involved. You're not the only one in control of the situation. There is a buyer and a seller, right? So the seller's ducks have to be in a row, just like the buyer's ducks have to be in a row. You have to work with lenders and title companies and insurance companies and, appraisers. And there are lots of other people involved in the transaction, home inspectors and, other people who, based on whatever work they do or do not do, it may have an effect on the outcome of whether you are actually going to be able to purchase the home or not. And so I always tell people, we want to give people every opportunity to actually complete the sale, not only so that they can achieve their goals and so that their financial objectives are met. And, we want to make people the priority. That's first and foremost. But then on a secondary basis, it does cost me money. When I list your house, I pay for those pictures. When I list your house, I have to go out and market that property. When I list your house, I have to go out and I'm doing all of the legwork to ensure and taking on all the expense to ensure that we get your home sold quickly and profitably. And so I would like people who are selling to know that part, because I think a lot of times they will kind of sit back and feel like, oh, they're just taking care of everything, not realizing they're taking care of everything because they're hoping to recoup that money once your sale happens. If the sale doesn't happen, if you keep rejecting offers or you're not adjusting the price to a price that actually helps to get the property sold, you are costing that realtor or that brokerage quite a lot of money. So it is an interesting business to be in. You do have to manage not only working it and marketing and finding new customers. But once you have a customer, that's when the work just kind of starts. You've done all of this legwork just to find someone who is willing to buy or sell. And then there's a whole nother set of work just before you ever even get into a contract to buy or sell. You got to take them to go see the house. You got to prep the house. You got to do a lot of other things. So I'm trying to answer that question in a elongated fashion so that people understand that while it is a beautiful career, it's a great career to have, it's definitely one that I would not call easy. It is not easy. It is going to cost you some money. It's going to cost you some time, but the return on investment can be fantastic if you do it right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And also you know what, I literally just lost my thought because that was so empowering, so much information. And also for young people, Cal, I'm often thinking about young people that are creating their own path. They are creating what feels good for them. And I do see a lot of young people getting into real estate as well. And they're just creating their own path.
You know what I love about that? So I love that young people are in it and they are creating not only a new energy, but they're doing it with technology, right? ChatGPT is more prevalent than ever in real estate. They're utilizing that as a resource to write property descriptions, and we have something called Matterport. Matterport is an excellent tool. I was just telling someone just yesterday, Candy, that, you know, and some people will have a difference of opinion on this, okay? But I think open houses will be a thing of the past within the next 5 years. That'll be something that we used to do. And the reason for that is because we have tools like Matterport that give me a full walkthrough tour of every nook and cranny of your house.
Wow.
Right from my cell phone, right on my phone. I can pull up the address that's for sale. I can walk in like I'm walking through the front door, walk left, walk right, go up the stairs, open closet doors, right? I can do all of this on my phone and eliminate properties without having to go out over the weekend. And I'm going to go see this one, and I'm going to go see this one, and I'm going to go see this one. You see everything right on your phone in crystal clear clarity, right? And then it helps them to narrow their choices down to the ones that they are really thinking about making an offer on and only going to see those. We even have now, you know, with technology, there are lots of tech companies. You never show up to the property. Like, there's no one that meets you there. There's a company. I don't want to give any unpaid plugs on your show, but if they would like to do some advertising, they can call and talk to you about. But there is a company that literally you go on and you schedule an appointment, right? And you can do this, not just one. There are multiple companies doing this now. You schedule the appointment. You want to go do a walkthrough tour of either the model, or you want to do a tour of, you know, a home that they have listed. You schedule the appointment and show up, and they open the door from their cell phone. They open, or from the office. They see you on the Ring camera when you pull up. They see you when you walk up to the door. You press the door. You announce yourself for the appointment. They unlock the door automatically, and you go through and do your own thing as a walkthrough tour. So, wow. Yes. Technology is here to stay. I think that as someone in between, I'm gonna call myself in between. I'm old enough to remember the old school, but young enough to know that we better embrace technology, right? And if you don't embrace technology, you're going to be left behind. Period. They're going to leave you behind. The new generation of agents that are coming in, these folks are savvy. They are savvy not only with how you get in and out of transactions and utilize technology, send you all your documents right from their cell phone. They're sitting at the pool sipping a margarita, and they're sending you a contract on a cell phone that you can electronically sign and send back automatically. Like, it's beautiful. It can really work really well. The days of having to sit down, pen and paper, That's just kind of behind us. And so it's an interesting time to be doing real estate. And they know marketing really well. They utilize social media like experts. A group of young men that I'm particularly proud of, a group of two guys, they have a podcast too called Earn Your Leisure. They started off as financial advisors. They were young men, school teacher, financial advisor. They blew up, right? Helping people to better understand how to use the technology, how to get the information out to people via the social media platforms. So this is why I'm so happy that you have this platform. So we can talk. We can talk about it, have people tuned in
Absolutely.
and find out what it is that they can do too to keep up, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. If you don't like technology, because some folks don't even like touching their phone, they need their children to show them how to do even the basic stuff on a cell phone. I still represent those folks too. I will come to you with pen and paper if you're not that tech savvy, you know. So,
Yes, yes, yes. You know,
but it's still a good
how
business.
difficult, how do you
Yeah.
handle difficult or challenging clients? And what are the struggles that you have seen, um, that you have actually found to be effective in resolving any of those conflicts?
So I fire them. I know
Wow.
that sounds like a weird answer, but I will fire a customer. Like just like they can fire me. They can let me go if it's not a good fit, right? If we're not a match, if we're not working out, it's okay to you let your realtor go and find one that is working better for you or is better suited to your personality, your needs, what you feel will make it a smooth transaction. It's too big of a transaction and too big of an issue for you to be fighting someone along the way. I'll give you a side example. So I have had this unfortunate experience. I'd imagine some of your viewers have as well, where if you've ever had to work with an attorney and along with your attorney, you feel like whose side are you on? Who are you working with? Who are you working for? Right? Like you can get into such a contentious thing, and it's much too serious of a relationship and too serious of a purchase for you not to be in good rapport with your agent when you're buying real estate. So if I find that it is contentious, if it's really not working, my first approach is always try to be, as humble and give grace and understand. There is anxiety with this, there's frustration with this. Sometimes people get let down, people get frustrated, people lose money. Sometimes they're upside down, they're trying to sell, they're not going to make any money. It's going to cost them money to do this transaction. Like there are lots of questions that come into play, but it's easier to take the bumps that come along the road as you get towards your path of either buying or selling. It's easier to take those bumps when you're working with somebody that you not only like, but you respect and appreciate. When you don't have those, I like this person, I know this person, I appreciate this person, I respect this person. If you feel the opposite of that, you want to sue them, and I don't want to be sued. So you start feeling like you're not serving my interests. You're not helping me. You don't care about what I'm going through. This is a bad situation. So I tell my young agents and even more experienced agents know this, that if it's not going well, it's better to let it go than to fight your way through it and then find yourself in litigation at the end, right? So I try to remove myself from negative situations, and I don't really care how much money is on the line. If it's not working, I'm going to let go. But if it is working, then fantastic. But I try to develop a very good rapport with my customers in the beginning, right? Get a real understanding of what they're looking for, how I can help them, what's the objective. And I tell them up front, it ain't going to be all peaches and cream. There's going to be days you're going to get frustrated with this, and we're going to spend time together. The amount of time that it takes to purchase a home at the easiest, if you come with cash, we're going to be together at least for 10 days. If you want a traditional purchase, you're going through a bank, you're getting a mortgage, we're looking anywhere between 30, 45, sometimes 60 days, and even longer if you're a seller. If you're a seller and I'm working with you, it could take up to a year to sell your home. Now, we always want a quick sale. We want something to happen in 3 months, a month, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days would be fantastic. But you got to remember, people are looking all over. There's lots of other competition that they're looking at. And so it definitely is a challenge for you to make sure that you are staying in good rapport with someone who is not having the best experience over the course of a year. So you definitely want to, make sure that you help them to have a good rapport with you, have good understanding, work out well. By the way, good morning, Bruce Wayne. I see on the side, he says the same. He got the same question I have, Candy Low. How was the Black Business Bus Tour? And when is the next one? So that's what the people really want to know. Let's talk to them. How did it go?
Oh, let me tell you, Cal, the Black Business Bus Tour, our bus, I got a little nervous because we have so many people that wait to the last minute. And I wanted to make sure that we had enough buses. And I'll always get a couple days before. Someone wants 5 more seats, or someone wants 4 seats. Do we have any more seats? So we had about 6 people on standby. They was on will call. So the bus, we had 57 seats, all full. No extra seats. And
I love a sold out event. Gotta love a sold out event. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And I thought we were going to have the 52 passenger bus, but we had the 57 passenger bus. So we were packed.
Okay.
Every single store we went to, everybody purchased everything. Let me tell you, the last store we went to, I gave this spiel. We're going to get off this bus. We're going to go into this young lady's store, and every single person is going to buy something from her bakery. I was a little nervous.
Oh, you went to a bakery. Oh, I love a good bakery.
Yeah, on West Hillsborough. And the bakery was a small bakery, which most of our businesses are small anyway. And I was nervous that she wouldn't be able to handle the crowd. I was a little nervous that she was not going to be able to serve everybody and everybody be able to purchase. And she reassured me on Friday several times, Miss Candy, we got it. Don't worry. We got it. We're
going to be ready. Yes.
All of that. And then I said, listen to everybody before we got off the bus. We are all, I don't care if you just get a cookie. Everybody is going to purchase something. Let me tell you something. We walked in there and this baby was ready. She had at least 8 people on staff.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
She followed all of the instructions. Every last one of them, truth be told, every business followed the instructions. Our first stop, the lady was outside. She had her Black Business Bus Tour sign and even purchased a Black Business Bus Tour banner to go over her door because she says, I'm going to use this tour. And I tell you, everybody did well that day on the Black Business Bus Tour.
I love that. First of all, congratulations, right? Congratulations to you. Congratulations to those businesses that you went to and all the participants, because, I know that not only for some people, it's a reunion, right? Some people, they come back and they like, we were here last year and the year before that. It's good to see family again. They've already connected. But there's so many beautiful connections that happen on the bus, off the bus. You done met a new store owner, a new place in town. You come back, there's the vendors at the spot that at the start off point that you leave from, that you meet those folks and get in with them. I'm telling you. The bus tour is it's like that. So that's excellent.
Yeah. And
I'm glad that you were able. I wish that as people were walking out with their purchases, because I know y'all do some kind of videotaping, some kind of video is going to come out later. But if you remember the last time you and I were on, you had been on TikTok and you were reading off the negative Nancy comments about the tour before the tour. Remember this? You remember they were talking that junk. Let them see them walk out with all paid receipts, doing good business with our community and amongst each other, so that the haters can stop hating and join the program and get onto this. We doing good things in Tampa and in the Black community. It's love. So good for you. Good for
Absolutely.
you. Good for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Those comments has not stopped at all. I've had over 50,000, close to 60,000 views of those videos of the Black Business Bus Tour. And whatever comments it is
Yes.
that they make, it only shows who they are, whoever those
Right.
folks are. Whoever
Right.
they
You ain't
are.
saying let them do what they do. They keeping them talking. Look, say what you want to say. Publicity is still coming in. 60,000 views. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So congratulations. That's wonderful. Great question, Bruce Wayne. Great question.
Yes.
I had that same question.
Yes.
But so I hope that you heard me what I was saying to you about, today I'm being very transparent, about pros and cons, because it's work. This is a job. You do still have to go to work and do things and sell stuff and, get up every morning and get to it. Are there good times? Absolutely. I tell people, but if you aren't a person who has worked commission before, if you've never done a commission-based job, don't jump in with both feet and both arms and both legs. You got to put your toe in a little bit first. Get used to the water. Get acclimated to what a commission life is like. Because if you just jump up and quit your job and say, I'm a realtor now, you may be sitting back for a little while before you see some real money coming through the door. Some people get fortunate right away. They get it right away, but not everybody. There's some people who will sit for months before they see a real check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what, Carol, I think you mentioned this previously, but I want to go over it again. A buyer's community. What does that mean? Because we're in the second quarter of the year.
Yes.
And is it still a buyer's community? And what exactly does that mean?
And I think you mean a buyer's market, right? Like it's a buyer's market. Buyer's market. Yes, that's it. So it is a buyer's market. And all that really means is that the prices are in favor of the buyer. The prices are coming down as opposed to going up, right? When the prices are going up, it's a seller's market. The seller can say, hey, I'm selling my house for this thing. You may look at it and say, oh, it's worth about 200,000. Nope, I'm selling it for 500,000, and they can run the price up when it's a seller's market. When it's a buyer's market, the buyer's like, you can drop that price by another $50,000 off, or I can go over here and get a house that's better than yours, brand new, nobody's ever lived in from the builder. What you want to do? They are in the better position to negotiate when it's a buyer's market. So there are a few reasons why it's a buyer's market right now. More inventory, right? So there are more houses available on the market. So when there's more to choose from, right, you have kind of your pick of the litter. That's one. Two, a lot of people still are standing still. They're feeling like, it's not just inventory because of all the new buildings that are going up. A lot of people are selling and leaving Florida, and they're leaving Florida for legit reasons. Some of them are concerned about the storms we had last year. Although that was unusual, I've been here long enough to say that getting hit back to back like that was not something that I've experienced in a long time, if ever. I don't remember like back to back like that. Okay. So I wouldn't make a jump based on an unusual year, 1 year of unusual storms. But of course, storms do run up insurance, right? Insurance costs are higher. A lot of people who move to Florida are unfamiliar with something called a CDD. it's so we already have our HOA that people ain't really that happy with, right? Because of how some of the homeowners associations are run or managed, right? Some of them don't like those. And on top of that, then you have this CDD, this community district development tax. So if you have like a dog walk, or if you have tennis courts and amenities, a gym, a pool, there's going to likely be an additional fee on top of your HOA for having those amenities in your community. Some people don't really like that, so you got your property tax, your CDD, your HOA, if you're in a condo, you got your condo association fees. And we know in Florida, ever since they had that collapse down in South Florida, a lot of people are having to do assessments, and pay additional fees on condos that they weren't expecting. Um, and so, and someone asked an interesting question. Did you see that, Candy? So yes, there are, it definitely can be, you need to evaluate the totality of your costs, because you don't want to be house poor. House poor. And what I mean by house poor is, unfortunately, throughout the state, there are statistics that show some people are spending over 40 to 50% of their money just on their house, just on how much you spend on your mortgage. Well, that only leaves you 50% of your money to cover your car, your cell phone, the kids' expenses, the groceries, the electricity. You still got a whole bunch of other stuff that has to be taken care of after you pay the mortgage, right? So you definitely don't want to be house poor. So it's important that you buy right, because some people right now, I will tell you, I've run into several customers who bought during the pandemic at the height of when it was a seller's market. The sellers, remember, everybody was selling they would list a price and sell it above the list price. Now those same people are like, well, I want to move, I'm ready to go. The equity hasn't caught up yet. You owe more for the house than what the house is worth now. So you got to kind of stay there or sit there, or it's going to cost you money to sell your own home. You'll sell it and you'll take a loss. You'll have to pay someone else additional money to get it off your hands. So this is a really important factor to talk about with your lender and with your realtor, so that you buy something that makes sense and is affordable to you. This is why when you hear of real estate investors, they always say, oh, the investors want to buy low. No, the investors want to buy smart. They don't want to pay too much for the house and wind up not being able to make a profit when they sell it. So, so I saw this question by Lex. Did you see that?
Yeah, let me put that question back up.
So South Florida is a unique space, right? As we all know, when we talk South Florida, we're looking at everything Miami, right? Fort Lauderdale, right? All of these areas down there. And it is really expensive. This is New York City. This is Manhattan of the South in Manhattan, Miami, right? This is New York City level pricing. It is expensive to live in Miami. And I think that you're going to see not only fast food restaurants having some challenges, but you're going to see lots of other businesses facing challenges due to the overall economy, because we are experiencing, these tariffs are about to hit heavily, and China is making decisions of their own that will affect. I've been seeing all and up and down my timeline about the ports. Start looking at what's happening at the ports. And if there's no traffic at the ports, if the ports aren't busy, the rest of the country isn't busy, right? Because all of the goods coming on the ports, the food, the cars, the lumber for the houses, all of this stuff comes in through the ports. Then if it's not buzzing at the ports, that means the trucking industry is not buzzing, because the trucks get it to the stores. If the trucking industry isn't buzzing and they isn't getting stuff to the stores start shutting down, Lex, right? Because they're having a hard time. They're spending more to get the stuff that they're selling you, okay? And so it becomes a bit not only cost prohibitive, but you will also find that when the economy is not moving, and real estate is a huge part of the economy, right? We're big in the economy. So when the buying and selling isn't happening at a consistent pace, people aren't making money. I'm going to use myself as an example. So I have these homes for sale. You can go to savannahpremier.com right now and look, and there'll be houses there for sale. I make no money unless you buy those houses, right? You use me as your realtor and buy those houses. If that doesn't happen, how do I go to the fast food restaurant and buy my chicken from Popeyes? Or how do I go and spend money at the grocery store if the money hasn't come in? And it's not just me as your realtor. If it's not selling, it affects your loan officer. If it's not selling, it affects your title company. If it's not selling, it affects the inspection company, the insurance company. So you see how this snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger because it's very important that the economy be working because it affects lots and lots of people. And here's the other piece that most people don't think of. These are the people directly involved in the real estate. If real estate isn't moving, it's also going to affect you and your children because real estate taxes pay for your schools and for your educators and for your fire and police departments, right? So the trickle down effect of this can be massive. So we will see where this is all going. I do know that you will see some stores are going to close. Some businesses are going to shut down. You may even start seeing some things in our major retailers with empty shelves in some areas. And so we just have to kind of ride the wave and see what's going to happen and see what's going to be best, how the country is going to play out. I'm still hoping for the best. I'm still, staying my perpetually positive self. I'm always an optimist. But I do think that now is a good time. If you're starting to see that in your area in South Florida, remember, just like we were just talking about the bus tour, it's always a good time to buy small and buy local. So don't be afraid to go to your local farmers market for your food needs. Don't be afraid to go to Home Depot instead of buying that machine. Go buy some seeds. They sell seeds there. You can plant a garden. Not only that, if you are a little bit of a chef and, one of the things that I see booming rather than the full brick and mortar restaurants are food trucks. Food trucks have gotten enormously popular and people still are able to maintain a living and still provide excellent food and service. So things may be shifting. You're going to start seeing a shift in what we've experienced before. It'll be different now. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Candy? Do you have any thoughts on what's going on with the economy and what you've been seeing?
Well, I have been hearing people and they are somewhat kind of staying put. I think there's a certain amount of fear right now. We do know that our president, this is his first 100 days in office. Mm-hmm. I did get to hear a little bit of the interview on last evening, but I do believe that a lot of times when we do get a change of guards, people do, if you look at some of those statistics, some of those studies, that people do stand still the first few months, the first quarter, the first 6 months before they make a decision. And they're looking at the economy and trying to make some sense of it. But I do believe that people will still continue to go out and buy and purchase and do those things. I do see people are still they're still at the mall. They're still at the stores. They're still online buying things. We know that the stock market plummeted several times in the last 100 days, but people are still investing. People still need a home. People are still looking for a home. People are still downsizing. We still have people that still want that first home. They still want the American dream. People are still getting married. People are getting married and they still want that first home. They want that experience. People are, and our community is still building. The communities are so beautiful. They all inclusive communities, and people want that. And that is from Apple all the way to Sun City, Apollo Beach, Gibsonton, Waimama, Mango, Town and Country, which is amazing still, Temple Terrace, which is amazing as well. So people are still buying, but I think that they are watching their money. People are just watching
Yes,
their money. But I think
I
that they
agree.
are still, yeah, and it's a joy, it's an excitement of purchasing your first home and going out and getting all of the things that you need. But I do believe
Yes,
that people are just watching their money, because going into the grocery store, still
it's
going
costly.
into the grocery store, things are still, yes, it's still costly. I find myself even looking down in my cart, and sometime having to put one or two things back and changing up some things, or what we really need for the week, or what we really need
Hmm.
for the week. So
Yes.
I believe that
Hmm.
that is only, that's what we're doing. We are just stepping back. Okay, can we spend this? Can we spend that? And how much money? And people are still trying to save for a rainy day, because we don't know what the rainy day is going to look like. We don't know what the storm is
Right.
going to look like.
Right.
So yeah, but people are still buying homes. And if you are looking to buy a purchase a home going forward, definitely
Yes.
this year, Jackson
Definitely.
is the one to connect with, and his phone number
Thank you.
is right there. And give him a call if you are wanting to start just thinking about it. Just start thinking about it, and even if you are not sure, he's got so much information. He can talk to you. You can talk to him. He's very relatable, very
Thank you.
informative. He's been at this here
Thank you.
for 2 decades.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you so much for that plug for me. I hope they will call me because I would love to earn their business. And I still believe I work with a brokerage where people are the priority, right? We are here to serve the people. We want to make sure people are getting the best result once they are making a sale or a purchase. That's number one. Number two, I love the way you said this year. A lot of times people, they wait too long, and then they realize, oh no, my opportunity has passed. I tried to sell, but I tried to sell too late. Or I tried to buy too late when the opportunity has passed. The way that the market works is you want to take advantage now while prices are coming down. Remember, this is economics 101. Buy low, sell high, right? So as the prices are down, buy it while it's low. And you can, if the rate isn't exactly what you want, you can always try to do negotiation, buy some points to lower the rate. Or if you aren't in a position to lower the rate, you can take that rate, take the payment for now, and you can always refinance, right? And get a better rate at a better time when things have gotten better. But all the while, your home will continue to appreciate in value, and the equity will continue to grow, so that you aren't paying, because you're paying a mortgage one way or another. You're either paying yours or someone else's, period. If you're a renter, you're paying someone else's. If you're an owner, you're paying your own. Somebody's mortgage is getting paid. And so, even for my own children, they ask me, and I tell them, I always want you to own. I always want you to purchase your own. And even, if you're thinking about making a move, remember, this is your asset. This is your investment. So you are in a position where you can not only keep that property if you move on and you say, well, I'm going to go rent. I'm going to also rent out this place and make an income for yourself. So there's lots of things that you can do with a home. You can, if you're not in an HOA community, you may do an Airbnb where you rent it out weekly. You may do a traditional rental where you rent it out monthly, annually, right? And so there's lots of things that you can do with the real estate that you own, particularly if you're on a property that has land. If you here in Florida, you can buy acreage. And so people, particularly in areas like Plant City, right, where they buy property or some more rural areas, maybe up, Brooksville area, things like that. You can buy homes that have land enough on it that, like I said, you can do a little bit of gardening, or you can utilize your land and make a profit, sell some of the timber, have grazing done on your land by some of the livestock of your neighbors and make a profit with that. Remember, you got under the ground rights, above in the air rights. You got all sorts of things. There are people who let those cell phone towers rent a space on their land, and if they have that, you could, of course, you're getting a rental income from that. There's definitely lots and lots of good reasons to buy and invest in real estate. And I hope that you'll do it this year. I hope I'll be the one to assist you. I would love to earn your business. Again, my company's name is Saven Premier Real Estate. You can reach me at 813-444-2691.
All right, now you heard that first right here.
Yes.
right
Yeah.
here. And you know what, Cal, I've often wondered, why people are nervous about it. I remember buying my first home and I didn't know the right questions to ask. And I had a realtor that walked me through everything. She gave me all of the tips. She let me know what to look for in the home. And I think I looked at about 10, 15 homes and all of the different things that, I did. Tawanda was with me. Connie was with me. My daughter was with me. Someone was with me every time. And I learned something different every single time on what was a quality house, what was I looking for in a house, different little things that if I bought the house, could I afford to change out things? Or did I want a turnkey home? And I chose a turnkey home. I didn't want to go in and fix anything. I didn't want to go in and have to get new appliances. I didn't want to go in and have to redo my kitchen counters, because sometimes that can be very expensive and people think that they're going to do those things and they wind up not doing any of that, and they wind up not very happy with home. So we want people to be happy with the home that they choose. So going in it with that mindset as well is that when you call Brother Cal Jackson and you're ready to purchase that home, make sure that is going to fit you and fit your family.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a couple of things that I need to piggyback on. One, don't be afraid to get help from others. Like, there are people who have done this. Your elders, your aunties, your mom, your dad, your brothers and sisters. If they have done it and have experienced this before, not only are they, you want to hear from your realtor for sure, but if you have other trusted confidants that can help you and have experienced things, get those nuggets, get those tips and tricks, because it all counts. It all helps, right? That's number one. Number two, I agree. You have to determine, are you Mr. or Mrs. Fix It? Or are you more like, I just want to move in and live? And you need when she says turnkey, that means all I got to do is turn the key to my house and walk in and I'm ready to live. I don't have to go in there and paint and fix and repair and change the flooring and change out these appliances. All of that costs money. All of that takes time, right? And as you pointed out, Candy, some people, they go in with the highest intentions. 3, 4, 5 years later, these things still aren't done, right? And now you're frustrated with the home. You've moved all your stuff in, but you're living in a perpetual construction zone. People don't like to live like that, right? Like, it's one thing I'm going to paint a quick accent wall, or I'm going to do something, I'll get it set up before I move in. But once your things are in there and you're back to regular life and you got to go to work every day, it's not everybody has to get up and do these do-it-yourself projects. And do it yourself often leads to more projects than you think. You thought, oh, I'm just going to change out this area right here. I'm just going to put a little thing. You broke into that wall, and now you got 2 more projects because you realized there's a problem once you done opened up that wall, right? And so I tell people, like you said, know what you're getting into. I think the number one, but you asked a very last thing that I wanted to mention. The question that keeps most people feeling apprehensive isn't necessarily the purchasing process. It's they're afraid of, am I the person that can sustain this house once I get it? I don't want to get it and lose it. I don't want to get it
Yeah.
and feel like, I'm overwhelmed because I don't want to be out there cutting my grass every week, or cannot afford to have someone come and do that? What about the bugs? How am I going to keep the bugs out? I don't want to be fighting the bugs. I don't want to be, what about the roof? I'm never getting up on my roof. What about it's so many, I have to change the light bulb. I have to. And you are correct. There are things you will have to do on your own that right now, your apartment, you just make a phone call and say, hey, the toilet's clogged. Send somebody. That's on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to take care of that. But the good news is, one, if you're 50 in a 55 plus age bracket, if you're 55 plus, there are communities that will take care of all of that for you. They take care of the grounds, they make sure everything is painted, they take care of the roof, they do all of that. If you're younger than 55, I will tell you there are also other options to consider. If maybe you're not ready, maybe single family house isn't the right choice for you, but that doesn't mean you can't get a townhouse where they also take care of the grounds and help you to ease that anxiety of, I don't feel like dealing with the bugs or the grass, right? You can also get a condo, right? There are other options besides the single family home. And last but not least, I need to say this. More people need to be considering multifamily and multi-generational homes, particularly in our community, right? You were talking about earlier about people, making sure their budget is right, looking at their income, looking at how they're spending their money. One of the ways that you can better pool your money is pool your money together in a multi-generational home where maybe your elder parents have a wing in the house and you have a wing in the house and y'all share common spaces and everybody's chipping in to make sure that this is a comfortable living space for the whole family, children, adults, and seniors. Or maybe you have a multifamily property where it's a two or a three bedroom house, a 4 bedroom house, and I shouldn't say bedroom. I should say a 2 family house, a 3 family house, a 4 family house. You can still get those under an FHA program, and look, mom can have the 2 bedroom on the second floor. Maybe you have the 3 bedroom on the third floor. Maybe your teenage child who's in college lives on the first floor in the 1 bedroom apartment, and everybody's paying a rent, or you're renting out to somebody and you live in the building. There's ways that you can make this work and still make profit through real estate. People, the number one way to create wealth in America, generational wealth, is still real estate, still real estate. Now, there are other things that are coming very fast. Obviously, IT technology is zooming, coming very quickly. A lot of people are engaged in stocks and Bitcoin and all of these other things. But for a sure bet of what's going to profit you and your family in the long run, real estate. So definitely come have a conversation with me. And as Candy said, do it this year. Don't wait any longer. Don't continue to have to rent. You don't have to. A lot of times people just don't even give themselves a chance. And if they would go and find out, I had a young lady, she thought, oh, I'll wait until next year. I may not, have a chance. She was ready immediately. They were able to get her down payment assistance. They could help her almost instantaneously. And Mr. Wayne, what's the top 3 things I should do to start the home buying process before you call me? Great question. 1, take a look at your credit. 2, start putting some money aside. Start saving some money, right? Because you'll need some money, whether it's for a down payment and closing costs or just for the moving process, right? Just to move out of your place and get a U-Haul truck takes money. So you need to start saving some money, taking a look at your credit score. And lastly, I would definitely start trying to get your debt in order, because once the very next step, before you speak to me, you need to speak to a loan officer, and they are going to look at your debt to income ratio, which is a fancy way of saying how much you pay out every month versus how much you bring in every month. How much money are you bringing in on your paychecks, right? And how much money is going out to other expenses, your car note, your current rent, whatever other, your student loan, whatever other bills you may have. Look at those, and you want to try to bring your debts down. Like if you have a lot of credit card debt, try to bring your debts down. If you have a high payment on your car note, maybe try to bring that down or try to eliminate that, right? So there are definitely some things that you want to do ahead of time. And guess what? Another key thing to do, start looking. The mind is all, and all is in the mind, right? And so if you want to own a home, you got to start building it in your imagination. You got to start imagining yourself, where would I live? What part of town would I like to live in? What do I want a condo or would I want a house? You got to start thinking these things through, just like you did with everything else you've ever wanted in your life. Before you went to college, you started imagining, which college do I want to go to? What part of the country do I want to be in? Before you went and got the job, what kind of work do I want to do? What kind of career do I want to have? All in your mind before you started going down the path. So you got to start thinking real estate. You got to start thinking about, is this what I want? Oh, yes, this is what I want. I can imagine my kitchen like this. I can imagine my backyard like that. I can imagine having, a fireplace or not a fireplace or a big bedroom and once you start putting it in your head and you start noticing it and looking at it and, investigating it, you'll start to see, hey, I can do this. I can make this happen. But before you call me, you want to call a loan officer because they're going to get you pre-approved. You're going to need a pre-approval letter. That's basically telling you how much you qualify for. They're going to tell you, do you qualify or not qualify? If they say that you don't qualify, they're going to give you some tips on how you can. They're going to tell you, this is what you need to do to fix your credit score. This is what you need to do to, improve your debt to income ratio. This is what you need to do. And if you do qualify, they're going to give you a letter and it's going to say, Bruce Wayne is qualified for $350,000. Mm-hmm. Great. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to use the whole 350. Just because I say you can, think of it like when you get a credit card. You get a credit card, they give you a credit limit, right? They say to you, hey, your credit limit is $10,000. That don't mean you got to use the whole 10,000 in one shot, right? Like you may only use 200 of it. That's fine. It's still, you have up to. So it's the same thing with your pre-approval letter. You're pre-approved up to 350. Right? But maybe you want to find a home for 250, 300. You don't have to use the whole thing. You want to buy something that's comfortable for you so you aren't house poor, like we talked about. You don't want to put all of your money into your house because you still want to go to a concert when it comes to town. You still want to be able to go to the beach and enjoy yourself, have some money to do some stuff with, right? So, these are the sorts of things where I come into play. Not only are you speaking into your loan officer, but we're going to start finding properties that make sense, whether you're Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It, or if you need turnkey like me and Candy, because I need a turnkey too. I'm not out here trying to be Mr. Fix-It. I do have a drill. I have a couple things, but fixing a whole house, no, that's not for me.
Yes, I totally agree. One of the things also, Cal, I could remember when I purchased my my home both times, making sure that I did not go back and bother with my my bank account. That was one of the things my realtor
major key.
And I didn't understand. Do not make a major purchase. Pretty much don't buy anything. Definitely not a big purchase. Just continue to let my bank account look like I'm paying my rent. I'm paying my utilities. I'm paying my car. I'm paying my car payment and nothing else. And I did that for 2 months. I left everything alone. I just left everything alone. I didn't get a new credit card. I didn't go get anything. My credit score was up. I think I got a $260,000 credit loan or whatever that verbiage was. And then I was able, I found a house for 147, and that was about 10 years. So that was really key to me as well.
Yes, and that, you're giving a major key right there. Don't listen. When you're buying a house, that's all you're doing. You're not also buying furniture, also buying a car, also buying a bunch of, you're not giving a loan, you're not taking out, putting in, and not just taking out, putting in big chunks of money can be a red flag too. Like they got to be able to explain where did this $50,000 deposit come from, right? Like you got to understand everything that's going on is getting not only reported to government agencies, but particularly agencies like the IRS are looking at what's happening, state government, all of these agencies are watching. So you definitely need to adhere to the advice Candy just gave. And I'm sure any loan officer worth their salt would say the same thing. You do not want to be out here doing a lot of other things other than purchasing your home, and you don't want to make any big changes in your life. For example, a young lady, I have a friend, she was just telling me the story this weekend of a woman almost did not close on her new purchase. She had been waiting and waiting. She was buying a short sale. She was waiting and waiting and waiting, and wanted to purchase this home. And her intention was that after she was going to buy, she was going to quit and start a new job. Well, she quit the job too early, and the mortgage and the mortgage company called to check just before closing, like, "Hey, is this person still employed with you?" And fortunately, she was in good standing with the employer. The employer kind of covered for her, but that's illegal. They were supposed to say no, she ain't, and that loan would not have gone through. They would have been like, "Nope, sorry, you done left your job." And it doesn't matter that you go into well, I'm going to be doing the same thing at this job. No, you can't just be switching out like that. So until you have keys in your hand, loan is closed, all documents are signed, you stay the same. You better and ask your loan officer before you do anything, before you pay for something, have a conversation. It can change things, right? Mm-hmm. So excellent piece of advice you gave there. Excellent.
Yeah. Yes, and yes. Even when you said at the last hours, someone change or lose their job can make all the difference in the world.
And now you done lost all that time, lost all that money, because they will just back out on you and say, "No, we have the right to rescind the offer because you did this, this, and this," right? So it is very important you stay the course, follow the instructions. Believe me, your loan officer ain't telling you nothing wrong. They want this deal to close or they don't get paid. So they're giving you all the right steps to make sure that this works. And even then, even if you follow all the right steps, just know there can be variables that can create a setback, right? You can have a customer where you're ready to close and it was contentious, or I'm using the wrong word. The seller had to sell a house somewhere else. Maybe they were selling a house in North Carolina and they needed that house to sell before they could get this deal done. If that part of the deal doesn't happen, you suck anyway. You win a waiting game anyway. So you got to be patient. You got to be prepared. You got to know, kind of just pay attention to what's going on the whole time, because it's an easy process. It's an important process, though. It's an important process.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Pamela.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Pamela. Thank you so much, Brother Kyle Jackson, one of my weekly contributors on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 8 a.m. live, Tea and Conversation Live. We are 20 years, Kyle, Tea and Conversation. It just blows my mind when I think about 20 years of doing anything. Next year.
When I met you, I didn't have all this gray, Candy. When I met you, my face was I didn't have this gray happening back then. Yes. Things have changed over time. So I'm so grateful that we're still rocking and all is well. And I'm really, again, just before, I know we're about to wrap up, but I want to tell you, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that the bus tour went well, as always. And please continue to do what you've been doing. Yes, keep being great for the people. Keep being great in the community. We need you,
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kyle Jackson, certified full service professional realtor. And if you're looking for any information, you definitely can give my brother a call. The number is right there. Make sure you call my brother, Cal Jackson, a certified full
Thank you.
service professional realtor. If you're looking to go ahead on and do the doggone thing this year. We're not waiting to next year. We're doing it this year. So make sure you check in with Cal. Thank you so much,
Let's
Cal.
do it.
And I will see you on the next T.
One quick question before you go. Quick question before
Yes.
you go. I had someone, I believe Mr. Wayne may be interested in doing a sponsorship of your show. Can you speak to, before we go, if someone was interested in being a sponsor of Tea and Conversation, do they just call you, or how would that go?
Absolutely. They can give me a call always. Cal, Bruce. I think Bruce has my number. I think Bruce has my number.
Good. So he can just reach out to you and talk to you about the details of being a sponsor.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. I didn't want to speak to that offline, because not only for Mr. Wayne, but if others may be thinking about the same thing, I know Tea and Conversation is blowing up. Plus, you're getting thousands of views, not only from this, but from the, but so I'm quite sure there's some people that want to talk to you about, hey, how can we participate? How can we be a sponsor? So I just wanted to make sure we got this on air too.
Yes. Thank you so much, Brother Kyle, for that.
Okay.
And I will see everyone on our next Tea and Conversation live, Tea and Conversation. And Tea and Conversation in person is every second and fourth Saturday in Ybor City, Al Finger Looking Good Soul Food, 2302 East 7th Avenue. Everyone's welcome to come out. And our last Saturday, Tea and Conversation was absolutely hot tea. And always thank you, everyone, for supporting Tea and Conversation. And our next Black Business Bus Tour, I will let everyone know when that is. And we have our Black Business Hall of Fame coming up in August. We will be posting and sharing all of those people that will be going into our second year of the Black Business Hall of Fame in the city of Tampa. Much love, and thank you, everyone, for sharing. Thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for being a part of Tea and Conversation live this morning. Thank you. And thank you, Cal.
Thank you. And Candy, I didn't mention Jarvis. Jarvis's thing is on his barbershop talk. I told him, I said I would mention it on the show today. Barbershop Real Talk, the joys and challenges of fatherhood, is going to be from 6 to 7 p.m. on West Waters Avenue on June the 3rd. So if you speak to Jarvis, tell him I said it, and hopefully some people will join us out there, because I think it'll be a good opportunity for brothers to get together and talk.
Yes. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining everyone. And I'll see you on the next Tea and Conversation live right here.
Yes.